YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka the Medusa. If it's your first time, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. Uh, Jesus is Lord. Like, seriously. Um, First and foremost, I'm never late for anything. And if I am late, you can best believe it's a damn good explanation on why I'm late. I mean, for the most part, you got a lot of nerve to be talking about somebody talking about don't be late when you got invited to come to a show and then show up for the show just to find out that you was actually like really listening in on the broadcast. So for the most part, and just for I'm not, let's just get this out the way. I am not black. The shirt that I got on may be black. For me personally, no, I'm not black. I'm more of a brownish, reddish color, right? Pretty much like a penny almost. So hold that thought. Okay. So today's topic, I was going to talk about atheists and Christians. Who's the worst out of the two? Well, let's just look at this. You got the atheists, the so-called atheists, right? They don't believe, they are like, by definition, it's like, okay, well, they either disbelieve or lack the belief that they're, either God or gods are in existence. Well, if you actually really stop and think about it, God is a title, right? Each God must have a name. You can actually really look at that over there in 1 Corinthians. I forget what chapter and what verse. But it says, hey, there are Lord's men and there are God's men. Each God must have a name. Each Lord must have a name, right? Because even if I was actually come out and say, hey, landlord, okay, well, what's the landlord's name? See, that's how you have to look at things. And if that don't get you, you can always look over there in Romans 1:19-20, where it says, hey, invisible things of the world are clearly seen by those things that are actually really made visible. Right? And so for the most part, right, whatever it is that you believe in, okay, I got it. Because I do believe that like a lot of them, I mean, I've never actually really ran into an atheist, right? But I've had people, they'll have like those ideas, like I said, well, if God exists, then why is all this stuff going on in the world today? And for the most part, the average person is really not gonna actually really come up with a good explanation. Me, on the other hand, I will, right? So, not to say that I'm actually really looking for a debate, but if a debate comes my way with an atheist, so-called atheist, right, then by all means, we can sit down and we can talk. We can sit down and we can compare notes. I'm a sucker for good conversation. I'll be the first one to tell you, right? Now, as far as like the Christians go, I don't know. I tend to look at y'all the same way. I tend to look at y'all the same way that I look at people who actually really worship the devil, Satan, or Lucifer. Hey, even before, yeah, you knew I was in the army, you know, on the show that we did. But even then, I was actually like really on time with everything before I even actually really joined the army. So even so, again, you can't put that. I mean, you can try, but again, no soup for you on that one. So, but in any case, like what I was gonna say is that like the Christians, so-called Christians, I tend to look at y'all the same way that I look at people who do their devil worship with the circle and the star and the candles, and then somewhere they either got a chicken or a goat somewhere, and everybody all dressed up in black or whatever. Then they saying that little weird ass shit. Then they cut the chicken or the goat or whatever. Then whoever is supposed to motherfucking show up shows up. So, and the only reason why I say that, because every first Sunday, right? This is what y'all Christians go do. I mean, great the fact you're not actually really going out there and killing a goat or a lamb, right? You're actually like really not doing that. But it's just for the simple fact that here it is that you're actually like really doing a practice. For the most part, you don't have to do no more. So you got to ask yourself, okay, why actually like really practice something that for the most part it was only meant for one person and one person only, and that was Yahshua the Messiah. He had to do that, right? Because go over there and look at it. I think it's over there in Matthew. Just like I said, I really wish I had my Bible out or whatever. But since for those of y'all that actually like really are so-called Bible thumpers or whatever, I know y'all read it. It said every time you drink it and every time you eat it, you show my death until I come back. Well, 3 days later, what happened, people? He came back, right? And then you also got to ask yourself this important question. Who was he talking to at that particular time, right? He wasn't talking to none of us. It was just him and his 12 disciples. Key point right there. It was him and his 12 disciples. Nobody else. And just for the simple fact, they didn't do it in no goddamn church neither. Right? Because it said when ye come together in one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper. Right? Now, if anybody actually really want to clown me because I actually really can't give like the actual, I can give you the actual verse, but I can't remember what book and what chapter it was in. But just know all of this stuff, what I'm telling y'all is valid, is valid Bible verses, plain and simple. So, and then it was a song, you've been messing with the wine. No, this is just how I talk. All right. So wherever that you actually really trying to go with this, then again, you steady constantly like a little rat in the maze. You think you finna get out, but you get blocked out. Right? Stay out of the maze, okay? So it was a song a while back. Matter of fact, I'm a big Public Enemy fan. So it was the song. It was after it was like one of those little shorts that they do, right? And so it was this one part where Chuck D was saying, it was saying like this, and let's look at that word project, another word for experiment. One side of the street is a church, across the road is a liquor store. Both of them keeping us poor, right? And then it was a few years back where that in Little Rock, Arkansas, which is where I'm from, they actually like the devil, the so-called Satan worship people. They go on the state capitol grounds and they actually like really see a statue of the Ten Commandments. So for the most part, they get pissed off. They do their petition or whatever, and they actually like really got it passed that they can actually really put the statute of the Baphomet setting aside of the Ten Commandments. And I actually like really saw, and I said, see that? Look at that. Prime example of what I've been talking about, right? And it was the prime example what Chuck D was talking about. Project, experiment, one side of the street is a church, crossroad is a liquor store, and both of them keeping y'all poor, right? Because you can best believe I'm not going to give my money to no doggone jackleg preacher, right? Because 9 times out of 10, he ain't going to do nothing but put it in the goddamn pocket anyway, right? Going to the liquor store, I know a lot of motherfuckers might say, well, that's just as bad. I'm like, no, not really, because here's the deal. I know I'm gonna get fucked up if I go to the liquor store and if I buy a 40 ounce or some gin or some Crown and I mix it whatever the hell I'm gonna mix it with, I know right off I'm gonna get fucked up, right? But when you come in the church and they actually give you that false sense of security, that false representation, that to say, hey, Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior, right? And then just like say, you know, if you have to really go and look at the letter J, right? The letter J, they come into existence until around the year 1611, the same year that King James published the very first Bible. Or I'm not gonna say it was the very first Bible, but after he actually really read everybody off and said, hey, no, I'm gonna put my version out there for everybody to read. So the whole thing about Christians, right? I already told you, y'all just as bad as the doggone devil worshipers, right? But it's just for the simple fact that you call yourselves Christians, when in all actuality, it's Jesus the Christ, not Jesus Christ, right? So for the most part, I mean, you can sit up here and holler about, oh, well, I know it ain't his last name. I'm just a follower. Which, again, almost as bad or just as bad as you following doggone Lucifer or Satan or whatever they have, you know, whatever it is that you actually really want to call this guy or entity or what, you know, whatever the case may be, right? So my whole thing is this, or the question that I actually really put out there: atheists or Christians? Who's worse? Right? Put like this: it's close, it's really close, but I'm gonna have to go with the Christians on this one, right? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, both can actually really be converted, right? It's just a matter of actually really putting words together and actually really laying the evidence out there for these two groups of people, right? Now I know y'all probably talking about, well, what about the Muslims and the Buddhists and all? What about them, right? The Muslims, okay, they follow Allah, right? And then they don't eat pork for whatever strange reason, right? And then for the most part, they want to say that, okay, that the pig is a filthy animal. Okay, well, guess what? All that shit out there is probably rather nasty if you actually stop and think about it for a minute. So come on and give me another one. But like I said, atheists, you know, atheists and Christians, just like I say, yeah, right now I had to give it, I got to give it to the Christians because y'all, and then it just was the fact, I forgot. And this is why right here, because you do some stuff that for the most part, you really ain't, it wasn't meant for you to do in the first damn place. And then you gonna go be like, well, if I let the pastor dunk me in some water after they claim that they done prayed over it, right? They gonna have me, they gonna dunk you in some water and be like, oh, you free of sin, right? But then but again, this is where y'all fuck up at, you know. Now, because John the Baptist baptized him, right? Then he went and he died on the cross for everybody's sins, right? So if you knowing that, then why the hell you gonna carry your ignorant ass to a church, put on whatever little robe they gonna have for you, and let these people dunk you in some water? Why? I mean, somebody explain that one to me. Just like I said, he didn't die for our sins, right? Now the question could be like, okay, well, did he die on the cross for our sins, or did he just die on the cross? I mean, because I can sit up here and be like, well, Romans, all of the 14th chapter of Romans will tell you, for the most part, hey, nothing is unclean of itself. If it's dirty to you, then to you it's dirty. Don't sit around here and try to tell me that, hey, look, what you doing is fucked up. Which for the most part, I know somebody out here gonna try to twist what the fuck I just said, right? But here's the deal. Everything what Yahshua or who y'all call Jesus Christ, everything that he did, from the Passover supper to water baptism to actually like getting on the cross and dying. Guess what? That was he was supposed to do that. Where is it? What it say? I come for like this. I come to fulfill. Right? I didn't come, that's what I come in here to do. I come in here to do what Moses wrote. Right? I did it, so guess what? You ain't got to. Right? Pretty much like how we as parents do our kids. We go to work, they go to school. Right? And then once they get where they get old enough, then guess what they finna do? They gonna go to work, and if they got kids, the kids gonna go to school, right? That's how you do it. You do shit because you already know, hey, look, I'm in a better position to actually really do it better than you, right? So again, quit getting dunked in water. Quit taking the doggone Lord's Supper, or what the fuck y'all think is the Lord's Supper, right? And stop giving the preacher man all your doggone money, right? I mean, just like but just like I said, now as far as you atheist people go, you know what? I will give y'all a benefit of the doubt because y'all pretty much like a box of rocks almost. Y'all got enough sense about yourself to stay still. These Christians, on the other hand, well, just like I already said, you gonna get dunked in some water, then you gonna take some communion, thinking that's gonna like put you over, knowing damn well it ain't, right? So it's just one of those things, people. It's just one of those things,. Just like I said, I will say this much. Right? It's probably like the most that I've actually really talked in a while, right? Because it's for the simple fact that it really don't be a whole bunch of shit, that actually really interests me. But this is what happens when you actually really get into the world of YouTube, right? And I'm just here to tell you people, it is some very interesting characters out there. Me being one of them, right? Because I know a lot of people like, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about now? Right? And again, I already know somebody probably gonna look at this and probably try to break it down or whatever. And hey, look, do what you do. Do what you do. You want to break this, video down, and hey, by all means, do so. All right? You know, but that's, I just look at it, hey, look, that's my spiel on this whole atheist and Christians, type of deal. Right? Just like I say, if you got anything any questions that y'all ask the audience, the YouTubers, right? Whether you subscribe to my channel or not, leave a comment down there in the comment section. And for the most part, I will most definitely get back with you on what the question that you asked, right? So, with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, tell your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your pawpaw, motherfucker next door, cross the street, around the corner. Paul's Harris, aka Medusa. I'ma holler at y'all.